All right, AB history students, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those three letters that strike fear into your heart. DBQ. The document-based question. Yeah, it's pretty much the final boss of the exam. But guess what? Today, we're not just going to face it. We are going to build the exact blueprint you need to absolutely master it. So let's get building. I mean, you know the scene, right? The proctor says, begin. You flip open that test booklet and poof. Your mind just goes completely blank. You're staring at 7 historical documents, some crazy complex prompt, and that clock is just ticking, ticking, ticking down from 60 minutes. The pressure is just, wow. But what if I told you there's a system, a reliable plan that literally works every single time?
And look, let's be real. It is tough, no doubt about it. But here's the secret. The DBQ isn't about memorizing a million obscure facts. It's a test of whether you can think like a historian. You know, building a killer argument, using the evidence they literally hand you. And that's exactly what we're doing today. We're building the ultimate blueprint to craft that winning argument. Okay, so the absolute foundation of your entire essay, the single most important sentence you will write, is your thesis. And lucky for you, we have what I like to call the master key. It's a single formula that unlocks a high-scoring, super sophisticated argument every single time. And this is it. This is the master key. So why is this formula so powerful? Well, it's because it immediately shows complexity. You're not just dropping your opinion on the page. You're actually stepping into a real historical debate. You're saying, hey, I see this other side of the story, and then you prove why your position is stronger. That, my friends, is the difference between a good essay and a great one.
Okay, let's see this thing in action. Take a look at this example. See the parts? You've got the counterargument right up front. It acknowledges that strong opposition from industrial elites. Then, bam, the main argument comes in, confidently stating that reforms expanded government oversight. And the best part? The reasons, labor activism and public awareness. That's your roadmap for the entire rest of the essay. You've literally just outlined your body paragraphs.
All right, so we've got our master key thesis. Now it's time to lay the foundation. A great DBQ intro, it does 2 things, and 2 things only. It sets the stage and it makes your claim. That's it. Okay, first up, contextualization. The best way to think about this, it's the previously on part of your favorite TV show. You're just giving the reader the big picture. What happened before our episode starts, right? Then, after you set the stage, you drop in that killer thesis statement we just built. And that is it. A perfect point-scoring introduction. Pretty simple, right? And hey, if you're ever just staring at that blank page, totally stuck, don't panic. You can even use a template like this to get the ball rolling. So for that progressive era essay, you could just plug it in. By the early 20th century, rapid industrialization had transformed American society, setting the stage for widespread calls for reform. See? It's simple, it's effective, and most importantly, it gets the words flowing. Okay, our foundation is poured and set. Now it's time to build the main structure, the body paragraphs. This is where you bring that awesome thesis to life, proving each part of your argument brick by brick. And you guessed it, just like before, we've got a simple, repeatable formula to guide you. I want you to remember this by thinking about serving your reader a fresh cup of TEA. T is for your topic sentence. This is where you state the paragraph's main idea, and you got to tie it back to your thesis. E is for evidence. This is where you pull in stuff from the documents and any outside facts you know. And A, probably the most important part, is for analysis. This is where you explain why the evidence matters. That why part, that's where the magic happens. That's where you score the big points. And check out the difference here between just dropping in evidence and actually using it. The weak version, Doc 3 shows poverty. Okay, so what? The strong analysis explains the significance. Doc 3's depiction of urban poverty highlights the social strains that fueled calls for reform. See the difference? You're not just pointing at the evidence, you're actively connecting it back to your main argument. It's a total game changer. So as you're writing, keep these little pro tips in your back pocket. Try to weave 1 or 2 documents into each body paragraph, and definitely try to sprinkle in a piece of outside evidence to show off what you know. But seriously, the most important thing, keep track of which documents you've used. Just a little checkmark system works. You do not want to leave easy points on the table just because you forgot to use a document. Okay, so at this point, you've built a solid essay. The foundation is strong, the structure is sound, but how do we make it great?
How do we get to that next level and earn that elusive top-tier complexity point? You know, the one that separates the really good essays from the truly excellent ones.
Listen, it's not some kind of magic trick. It's a skill you can learn, and you've got options. For example, you could compare what's happening in your essay to a totally different time period or place. Or you could dig into how different social groups, like the rich and the poor, experience the same event in completely different ways. Just pick one of these advanced moves and weave it into your conclusion. It'll really make your essay stand out.
So, you've got it, the complete architectural blueprint for a killer essay. But a blueprint is totally useless if you run out of time to actually build the thing, right? So let's talk about a winning game plan for that 60-minute clock.
This schedule right here, this is going to be your new best friend on exam day. Look at this. For the first 7 minutes, and I'm serious about this, don't even write a full sentence. Just group your documents and sketch out your TEA paragraphs. That planning time is without a doubt the most important part. Once that's done, you can dedicate focused time to writing each section because you know exactly where you're going. Sticking to a schedule like this takes away the panic and puts you in control.
And to help you put all of this into practice when the pressure is really on, think of these as your cheat sheet sentence starters, your go-to tools. If your mind ever just goes blank, and it happens, one of these can kickstart your brain and get you right back to writing analytically. They'll help keep your essay focused and powerful.
So there you have it. That's the whole shebang. From the master key thesis and the TEA formula for your paragraphs, all the way to a minute-by-minute game plan. This is the blueprint. That anxiety you feel staring at a blank page, it can be totally replaced with the confidence that comes from having a clear plan. So the only question left is, are you ready to get building?